down, chop it down, chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am your host of Trap or Dive Podcast. Oh, it froze. It froze. Let's see, bro. Let's see if I can get it. Nope. This thing done froze. All right, am I back now, bro? Don't tell me my camera died, bro. What's going on? Try this again. Oh, have mercy. Let me get Dre in here for a visual effect. That's so crazy, bro. I'm gonna keep you in here, bro. I got it. It's entertaining people, man. This your turn. You've been here for 4 years. You ain't hosting nothing yet. I'll be back in 2 seconds, bro. I gotta try another platform, bro. I'll be right back.
Got you, bro. Just get that camera straight.
I'm trying.
Oh man, how y'all feeling tonight? I don't know. I mean, Mual, AJ, they on the way. I don't have any control panel on here, so I can't control who comes in or out. Just gotta wait for Mual to come back. But I hope y'all doing all right, man. You know, Commanders, ain't much too going on right now. You know, we'll be in the NFL Combine waiting period, the after Super Bowl. I always hate this time period of the year because it's like right now, NBA All-Star Weekend. Like NBA All-Star Weekend's passed, and then now you don't have any NBA games. All you got is college basketball. And here's Mual.
Yeah, if y'all been watching, All 32, y'all know I ran it through this issue a couple times, but it's never happened live. So now that y'all done seen it live, if your boy is frozen or just gone out of the blue, sometimes it's going.
No more. We might be having more issues. Now, like your mic in and out, but the video is just completely frozen, and mic is in and out. Might want to restart, reboot, do something, but something holding you back tonight, bro. Can't hear anything now. Dead. I mean, I could host this show all night by myself, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get too deep into things. We got a whole list of topics to talk about tonight. I don't want to get too deep in it because I know the fellas, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. I don't even know if y'all can hear me right now, to be honest with you. But like, I want to give them all a couple of minutes to get itself straight because, like I said, we got a whole little thing to get into, the whole little off-season period. We about to get into a couple things that happened. Deebo Samuel news, Brandon Aiyuk news, a bunch of things, man, we're going to get into. I know AJ got some strong opinions. We were kind of rapping. AJ sent us that picture earlier of, I think it was Aiyuk and Tunzel. He sent us the picture, and I was like, what is this? I didn't understand. I mean, I just seen Tunzel. I mean, I couldn't tell who the other guy was, and AJ's like, that's Aiyuk with him. I'm like, uh-oh, firestorm about to start. I wasn't even on X or Twitter yet, but I already know fans started going off about Brandon Aiyuk and the connections and everything. So I know that's one of the things we're going to get into tonight. I don't know how y'all feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing, you know, I know everybody kind of talking about. When Lattimore got arrested, you talking about when he got arrested a couple weeks ago? Not again. Please don't tell me he got arrested again. Because that'd be crazy. Dude is just, you will crash out, and he's getting a little too old to be just getting arrested back to back. I hope you're talking about the arrest that he had a couple weeks ago, JB. But I haven't heard anything since. But I mean, as far as Lattimore goes, I mean, I already assumed he wouldn't be back anyway. Like his play didn't warrant it. Then you talking about an injury. I mean, he was already injured when we got him. Then he got this recent injury. He up out of here. So, you know, I mean, what is he, 30 now? I know he got to be approaching 30 if he ain't 30 yet, but you don't know how a dude like that going to come back off an injury. He already was looking like he was on the decline. He wasn't the same Lattimore from New Orleans. So, yeah, Lattimore was going to walk regardless. It just sucks for him that he ended up getting arrested. You back, Mual? You good? I can't hear you now, but your camera not frozen, but I can't hear you. Mual got him. He had to go get him a different webcam, I think, because this one ain't as sharp as the other joint.
Yeah. Does it work?
Yeah, you good now. You good.
I had to go to the laptop, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a little. I'm thugging it right now, bro. But it's going to work.
I held it down for you while you was out, bro.
All right, man. Where we at, bro? Let's go ahead. We done did 10 minutes of this bullshit. And I got another show after this, all 32. Good Lord.
JB scared me because he said Lattimore got arrested. I thought he was talking about another arrest. I knew about the one a couple weeks ago. I was like, please don't tell me he got arrested again.
Yeah, I don't even need this no more. God damn it. Lattimore was on. It was the TMZ released the footage of Lattimore getting arrested. The body cam. Yeah, so that's what's trending right now. Is the actual footage of what actually went down. Dude,
was he drunk?
I don't know if he was drunk. I ain't watching, but all I needed to know is he told the Fed he ain't had no gun in the car. They searched the gun. I'm about to say gun compartment. Thinking of Kevin Hart. They searched the. I ain't got no echo too, by the way. I'm straight.
Nah, you good.
Good. Yeah, they searched his glove compartment, and boom, the gun right there. So
damn.
Yeah.
And that was after he said he didn't have a gun.
Yeah, I'm about to say all that you could have seen.
Oh man.
Like, but I clearly he wasn't supposed to have no weapon, so that's why he lied. But it's like, bro, if you think they got suspicion, they gonna search your shit. Like, you better off telling the truth than lying about it, bro. And in that situation, given that you are a fucking an NFL player, like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, never mind Lattimore. That's the person that's getting cut. But there's some other people on this team. Shout out to everybody. I'm sorry. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Even though I'm semi late technically. Monty, Sega, JB, Benz, what's up? I see y'all. Hit that like button and subscribe button if you're on the YouTube side, Twitch, Twitter, which way you are watching, man. We appreciate y'all checking in. It's always appreciated, man. Hit that follow button on those other platforms. Audio side, same thing. Hit the follow button. Rate and review if you can. It takes 10 seconds to do so, and it's free to show your support that away. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing moving. All right, what's going on with you, boy? Ed? I guess we all having problems. What's up? What's up, AJ? How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. What's happening?
Man, you look like you are you in a no Wi-Fi zone?
I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi right now, but I can.
Yeah. I'm about to say that's.
What he look? You talking about he blurry?
Boy, grainy ain't the word.
All right, let me connect to the Wi-Fi. Hold on.
What a show! What a show!
It's
10
probably
minutes, man.
because we ain't been on our regular shit lately. Like something that's going on in the air that's disrupting our Wi-Fi and cameras. I mean, I'm good. I mean, just saying with
Yeah,
y'all.
you good. But I don't know. I'm about to, because the way this is going, bro, like for streaming, I may just have to like transition to my laptop to finish like streaming, because both these PCs are, now that I think about it, bro, they both, damn, both my PCs, I'm just doing the math. They both 6 years old. I got these around the time we was getting the stemmies. What was that? That was 2020, right?
Yeah, I mean
It
that's
was
about the
that.
time I got my computer too. Mine's still
Yeah.
good.
So I got these on 2020, bro. It never dawned on me how long I had these. So I'm having problems with both PCs, like small problems, but I'm not like a nerd in the sense of like a tech nerd, so I don't know how to diagnose it.
Is it still grainy?
Nah,
Nah,
you
you
good.
good now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
everything's
couldn't even connect to the Wi-Fi, so I don't even know.
all right. Nah, you good. So whatever happened. Hey, bro. So look, last time we talked, we had not too much traction in terms of like Washington news, right? The pressers was the most important topic. And I think even now we don't have too much, but we do know about Debo Samuel's contract situation as we gear up closer to like the start of free agency. We know some moves around the league has piqued the interest of Commanders fans and the beat guys who cover the team, where they're asking questions about, is so and so worth this, worth the attention or inquiry for Washington. Let's start with Deebo Samuel though. His contract got voided. I think that means Washington is on the hook. Please help me double check this, but I think Washington is on the hook for $12.5 million this upcoming
Yeah,
season.
it's
So
just a hit because when they did the trade, essentially Debo had no guaranteed money remaining on his contract. So Debo's agent and Adam Peters agreed to provide him a guarantee of what, maybe like 19 million. I don't know off the top of my head. So in that case, he still had like a void year on his contract. So essentially, he's a free agent, but like any free agent on any team right now that they play for, he can resign with them before free agency opens back up. Same way like Washington just re-signed Trezway. Just more so, some players want to see what the market is with it being so close to free agency. And some guys are eager to re-sign depending on who they are and their position within that organization. But right now, I think it makes more sense for Debo to wait until next week after the combine to evaluate where his marketplace is going to be. Because even though it's not the legal tempering period, you learn a lot during the combine, especially when you have like such a marquee agent who is a household name in the NFL, but on top of that, got a lot of prospects coming into this draft class.
Debo, like I said, he hit the 12.3 mil a dead cap for the Commanders. And he actually got himself, according to Spotrac, 18.2 million in 2025. So they're looking at, it's all according to Spotrac, like a contract that's around 16 million heading into free agency. And I think what's interesting, actually, even you mentioned like his options, right? But I think for Washington and both parties involved, overall, like I don't know what this is going to mean for Debo. But I also feel like Washington, clearly, I mean, for the dead cap to hit, they were comfortable letting that happen. It was a 1-year deal essentially. And heading into like when they converted all this money to guarantees for this year, I think this is a perfect opportunity for Debo just to even reevaluate what he wants moving forward. You don't have, Cliff in here anymore. Not to say that that was a huge reason for why he would want to move on, but at the same time, like the idea of what Debo was or could be, for a variety of reasons, just never happened. He produced de facto number one receiver for Washington, because Terry it was an injury riddled year for him. But when you look at like the situation that Debo has or the opportunity that Debo has in front of him, like I'm sure if you look at 20-ish teams in the league, there gotta be like 3 that he's super intrigued about and think that he can really benefit with a much more stable situation around him. I say all that to say I would love to see what his market is like, and I wouldn't be surprised if Debo takes his time knowing that this is something where like this next contract, whether it's 1 year or 2 years, is still going to be a pretty big decision for him.
Yeah, and I think Debo is going to have a decent market, maybe not so much of a high demand market, but I think there's options out there, and one of those options come to mind is Mike McDaniel with the Chargers. I mean, that's a place that he could probably go up there and thrive. He has familiarity with Mike McDaniel. That's an option. I mean, obviously, coming back here would be an option, but I mean, I'm at the point where I don't think I want Debo back. And Debo was good last year. I mean, it was nothing against Debo in what he did. Debo was one of the more available wide receivers that we had all year last year. I mean, we pretty much had their room decimated throughout the year. But Debo played hurt a lot. I mean, and that's what happens with a Debo. And I think the older he gets, and this is why I'm pretty much kind of against him coming back here, is that I think he's always going to play hurt. With the style of play that Debo has, he only knows one speed, and that's to play hard. Like Debo plays hard, and he only knows one speed, but each year that body takes on more wear and tear. And Debo has a type of game that kind of ages in dog years. Like he, you know what I mean? Like he plays so. I mean, he's been doing this all his life. So you just got to think. And me, I keep coming back to Washington and what they dealt with last year as a team, and all of the injuries and the guys that weren't available this year. Like if we're keeping it a buck, we're keeping it 100. Like Washington, yes, they have holes, they have issues on as a roster, construction situation goes. But injuries was the number one thing that ruined this Washington season. Like injuries was the number one thing that made this Washington season become unwatchable. And when I think of a Debo type of player, I just think they're always going to play injured. And the older he gets, I don't think he's going to be effective as he was when he was younger, when he plays injured. So that for me would be a reason why I would say I hope that, these two situations can find something different for each other. Washington goes in a different direction. Debo goes in a different direction. Plus, I mean, me personnel-wise, I'm looking more into more downfield guys, like guys that are more downfield threats than a Deebo Samuel. Now, I mean, I'm not going to be upset or angry if they re-sign a Deebo, if it's a team-friendly contract or anything. I just think those resources could be used elsewhere. And, again, I mean, you're talking about him getting up at age, and you're talking about a team like Washington who can't afford to have another season like they did last year where they were relying on guys to be healthy. And Debo, I'm just not so sure that his health is going to kind of line up and be durable as he gets older.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to Debo, I think if you are him in this next situation, you got to lean heavily on familiarity. You touched on Mike McDaniel now being the OC for the Chargers. Kyle Shanahan is still the head coach for the 49ers. And the last place he's been has been Washington. So he's familiar with David Blau. He's familiar with Jaden Daniels. He's familiar with Adam Peters. And I think that when Adam Peters made this trade, it wasn't with 1 year it wasn't with 1 year in mind. It was for multiple years of getting that benefit of Debo Samuel. I mean, what they gave up a fifth, sixth round pick for Debo, and what they got in return when you compile like the injuries and everything, you got what a 700 plus yard receiver. I think he had 5 touchdowns receiving wise, and most of those were without Terry being in the mix. I think that Washington don't necessarily they don't really have anything to like hold on to when you talk about that wide receiver room. So they got to be active, whether it's with Debo or whoever that is of quality.
If they
I
going to Debo as they number 2, bro, go ahead and fire
nah,
fire
but
that dude. Fire
but
his
but I I
fire his
think
ass,
I
bro.
think people can't look at it as like if Debo was to be retained, can't look
He
at
could
him
be their
as
number
being
4.
you can't look at him as being number 2. You just look at him as one of the 3 wide receivers in a lot of their sets. I expect them to still go 3 wide, especially if they're playing. If we think that Blau is going to play off a Ben Johnson type of offensive scheme, you need kind of that player that can be that rack guy. That's kind of how Detroit uses Armand St. Brown. I mean, Armand St.
But
Brown hands are a bit better than
better route
Debo.
runner, shiftier.
I mean, shiftier. I wouldn't give that to Armand
Debo
St.
has
Brown.
power, but
Yeah, he got power. He
Almiron
got
is shifty. Like that's how he gets open. Like
Yeah.
that motherfucker gets busy, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, all in all, I see him as being someone that you could retain. It's not going to probably hit you above the head, but that doesn't mean that you just stop acquiring talent at that position. Think that that offense needs as much as possible, and if you can bring back Debo at a favorable rate, and that's not saying, oh, he's coming back to be the number 2. He's coming to be a fucking playmaker. Like that's just what it is. It's something that you gotta consider. Because I mean, who else do you know? How should I say? Okay, Adam Peters said something key in his last presser with Dan Quinn. He said that familiarity is everything, and it's hard to give players 3+ year contracts if he doesn't know them. He doesn't have any like rapport with them. He has rapport with Debo Samuel. That's why he made the trade. He got a lot to hang on to with that. So I mean, it's just one of those things where I think that Debo will have to pick between Washington, San Francisco, and LA. I don't think that he's at a point in his career where he can go start anew with someone that he doesn't have familiarity with a play calling standpoint, or even with the head coach or GM.
There's gonna be several shooters. Like even when you think about like assistant coaches that spanned out to different teams. I mean, shit. Even we mentioned the Chargers. Clifton went to the Rams. Fuck around, go to LA.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
saying like I mean LA. He can go to both LA teams. So like I think his options. I think we're underestimating like who can use him. But I also think like moving on from just Debo in particular. I think Washington needs to take its time now to know like what they want out of their receiving core. I think they had an idea of what they wanted last year. I think in theory it may have worked if everybody was fully healthy. Also, this is an opportunity to just sit here and say, yo, like we need somebody who can push down the field and be just as explosive, if not more explosive than Terry. I also think about, right, like, and I may get killed for this, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I started to think about just like I always can find an option in free agency. Me personally, I'm saying, and I'm not sitting here saying that option is like a number 2. Like for example, I love Zacchaeus. I knew he wasn't a number 2. Like solid number 4 guy. You use him right, he can step up. I like that move. I don't, and I have to go find this again, but I don't necessarily sit here and say like that number 2 or 1B is out there in free agency, or maybe some surprise cuts here and there. Like we even know, like I think Michael Pittman's going to be around. I'm not saying Washington, he's the perfect fit for Washington, but more so like people will find him very valuable for their offense. So there's going to be some moves out there. All in all, bruh, I wouldn't be so mad or surprised if wide receiver was a legitimate option for Washington and for their first pick. And I say first pick because I don't know if they do make that move. I don't know if they'll be at 7 when they make it. But when we had that conversation, AJ, with Todd McShay, he even highlighted the essential positions, like critical positions, for both sides of the ball, right? And wide receiver was one of those positions that he named. And I'm sitting here thinking, bro, if there was a time to reevaluate the structure of your receiving core and what you needed, like if you want to go young, because Debo's pushing 30, and I mean I know there's conversations about Aiyuk, we can have that now. That's fine. Aiyuk's not 30, he's under 30. But if you want that 24, 23-year-old receiver who is a dog and you can work with him for at least 4 years, maybe 5 if things do work out to the best that they'd hope with that extension or that 1 year option, then I'm looking at the first round. I'm like, yo, I like these guys more than I like these other options. And maybe I can look at edge or linebacker in different areas, such as free agency. Like we're going to talk about the top free agent needs. ESPN made a thing, and Quay Walker was on the list. If Washington landed Quay Walker, then that's one less need for your front 7. But that's where I'm at. I think wide receiver. The more I look at this, and if they want to restructure their receiver group or receiving core and the makeup of what it looks like, that first round pick may have a higher percentage to select a wide receiver than we probably assumed.
Yeah, I think everything's on the table until we see what they do in free agency. Because the reality is, no matter what David Blau said, force feeding, Terry McLaurin with 10 targets. This is Terry McLaurin's last year as a Washington Commander. So for those that love him, they better get ready. He is not playing into another additional year in 2027 of that contract. So yeah, you gotta start to look at that room, because I don't know how comfortable they are with, Lane and McCaffrey. Then you also still gotta re-sign Burks if that's somebody that you do want to bring back. But I can't foresee Lane and McCaffrey getting cut this offseason. But yeah, you definitely need to get younger at that position group. Because I mean, Terry and Debo the same age, and once you possibly move on from Terry, who is under contract, what else do you have there? But the amazing thing is, there's some talented wide receivers in this draft. I personally don't like any in the top 10, but even next year you got a plethora of wide receivers. Like you really got the better hand of wide receivers coming in next year, from Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams from Alabama. Some people got their views on him, but yeah, they're definitely gonna have to get a wide receiver, whether that be this year in the first or even the third round or even next year. They just got holes.
But see, I mean,
that's the main part. They got holes everywhere, bro. Like that's really
right.
the biggest issue.
Man, that's what AJ. That's the problem. Like they have so many holes and so many things to fix. And me specifically, I'm so focused on the defense because the NFL playoffs I watched this past year. If you don't have anything close to what those teams are putting out there defensively, you're not going to stand a chance in the NFL. I'm sorry. Like all of those teams, like pretty much every team you watched had a defense that you would envy as a Washington fan. And not even just I want to get close to that defense. I want to be a top 15, top 16, somewhere near that defense. No, those defenses were like top 5, top 10 caliber defenses. Some of those defenses almost could have carried the team to the Super Bowl by themselves. I mean, we've seen how the Patriots defense carried them throughout the playoffs. The Houston Texans defense. I mean, the Rams have a hell of a defense. I mean, all of those teams, Denver Broncos, all of those teams defensively make you envy what Washington has. And the issue is you just don't have enough power, especially when you're talking about the draft. You're going to have to spend more money probably than Adam Peters wants to spend free agency-wise. but the draft just leaves you so limited. So that's why, like, when I'm looking at that first round pick, I'm more so, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased. I'm looking more so at the defensive side of the football. I know you need help everywhere, but I'm looking at the kind of get a defensive cornerstone or a defensive centerpiece, something that you can build around when you talk about the NFL draft. But yes, you absolutely need help on the wide receiver in that wide receiver room. And in more years than not, I'm saying yes, everything's on the table in this first round, like wide receiver, running back, whatever, just add talent. But I still feel like Washington's just in a situation right now where defensively they need so much and you have to start somewhere. But free agency wise, you have to look there. Like, Washington has to add to this group. You have to get younger. You have to get faster. I think what they built for the Cliff Kingsbury offense specifically was guys that can kind of win in the short field, the short area routes. When you think about the Deebo type of guys, and you had the Zacchaeus type of guys, I mean, those guys can win in those little short areas. But in free agency this year, maybe Blau wants to run something different. Maybe we are doing the Ben Johnson thing where we're looking a little bit more downfield. We're running more boots. We're running more play actions. But, I mean, I'm just looking to see if they can add more speed at the wide receiver spot. Again, I need a guy that can take the top off the defense. He doesn't have to be Deshaun Jackson. Not many people are Deshaun Jackson, but just someone who could threaten this defenses downfield, kind of like a Terry can. Like, not just Terry, but you need someone else on the other side that can do that. Someone from all over the field. You still have a Jalen Lane, but I mean, the Jalen Lane, he has to show me he can catch the ball consistently. I can rely on him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, either way, yes, you do have to add to what you have in that receiver room. I just worry that Washington doesn't have enough resources outside of spending cap money to do so, to get more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the draft is going to be very interesting, man, because I think Washington could be a player to trade back or even move back up into the draft, depending on how it falls, whether that be late first or second round. There's some talented wide receivers is not really getting the press, but I mean, outside of the names of the Jordan Tysons, Lemon, or Tate, I mean, you got KC Concepcion from Texas A&M, who was formerly at North Carolina State. You got Zachariah Branch, who was at Georgia, but formerly at USC. Like, you got some players. You got Boston from Washington, if that tickles your fancy in any sort. But yeah, there's
always gonna be like, that's the thing too. Like, when you think about draft class, period, there's always the overlooked. Right, like where you think about the high end guys, and you think about those only people that you think about, and like you going through that list, like just shooting. 3 of those guys gonna pop. 3 of them gonna pop. I don't know who they're gonna be, but 3 of them gonna pop for sure. And you think about that, like it's always the case for every draft. So you're getting it right. And like another thing, bro. We'll see what second says. The Oregon tight end would also be amazing to get. I mean, if you're on the board, that's something to look at. Part of the ESPN,
not at 7 though.
I'd say not the spoiled, which not like the ESPN projections or predictions for free agency. They also have Isaiah Likely being a commander this year too, which for a lot of people would, make a lot of sense, and also be something that people are super interested in. Brandon Aiyuk though, we're going to keep talking with the, what's the name? We'll worry about that when we get there. But there was an interview that came out within the past week.
Nate Tice from Yahoo.
Yeah, I was going to, let you do your thing on the side. But
okay.
Yeah, we're going to work to try and get him on. But he had a conversation with Jaden, and, that kind of sparked some interest about like a former Arizona State teammate. People alluded to Brandon Aiyuk. Some made fun of that and said, yeah, they talking about what's the dude from Tampa, Rashad White. So there's options or there's considerations of different people where Jaden, had that sparkle when he was asked about a former teammate. Anyway, Aiyuk is convenient. Washington needs receivers. of receiver at least. And Aiyuk is a conversation where like a lot of people I see over the last month or some change are very interested in Aiyuk. And they're interested in getting him on like that cheap deal. There's also some where I kind of lean towards personally, where it's like, is it even worth it? Like, and another like hindrance or concern is like, is it worth it? But also like, if this was to happen, how content will Peters get after he makes or after he lands in Aiyuk? And that's kind of something that I think about too, because I got my doubts on Peters, and you know this is being real. So like, are you chasing? Are you being aggressive, reasonably aggressive, or like are you just looking for your comfort areas, just so you can say that this position is a strength, but you don't necessarily know like where this person is at in its current state, 2026. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Peter's already kind of told us, man. Like I alluded to earlier, he said it's hard for him to give contracts to guys they're not familiar with for more than 3 years.
I'm saying is but you know that's weak, bro.
I mean, I can only take it for what he says. I mean, at the end of the day, it just so happened that they got holes in places where he has familiarity with people that could be available. Like that's just the hardcore truth. Let's take even the first year under Peters and Quinn, you know, bringing in the Tyler Biadasz 3 years. You know, they have familiarity with him because Dan Quinn being in Dallas. Same thing with Dorrance Armstrong, bringing him in. You know, the only guy that didn't really have ties was Frankie Louvu. But most of the guys that they've brought in, they've had some type of relationship with from a free agency standpoint. I can't necessarily speak for every trade made, but even the trade for Debo. So I think he's going to lean heavily on that. And that's why I feel like we all know the inevitable with this Brandon Aiyuk thing. Unless he does something crucial. I mean, I just think unless he does something crucial off the field, which you hope doesn't happen for all purposes, I think that he's going to be here. You know, when your quarterback is also in favor of bringing in someone that is his best friend and that also has that talent. And yeah, they almost made a trade for Aiyuk. Just Terry McLaurin was going to have to be a part of it, and they didn't want to mess up the locker room. So I just think that it's inevitable with that, but still Adam Peters should be aggressive in free agency and see what else is out there. Now, like the things that I'm reading online and suggestions from fans and different pundits. I mean, I'm not a big Alec Pierce fan. I don't really care for Romeo Doubs that much. The benefit of hitting free agency is to get overpaid in a sense. Do you want to overpay on the Alec Pierce? Do you want to overpay for Romeo Doubs? Like it's
on Alec more than
say that again.
I said I'll take it on my bed. Clear my mic. I'll take a chance on Alec before I take a chance on Debo and fucking
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I would love to hear why you would take that risk on Alec Pierce more so than Debo and Aiyuk as a combination, or even let's just say Aiyuk versus Pierce.
Individually, one, I mean, Debo.
Let's move Debo out of it because we already. No, let's do Aiyuk and Pierce.
So, but where I'm getting at is like I would take Pierce over each individual. So like over Samuel by himself or Aiyuk by himself. So like we don't have to rehash Debo. Like we know what Debo brings to the table, but again, different element from Alec Pierce, right? Like he's an explosive player. He has good hands in traffic. He is a contested catch guy, but he's also fast off the line of scrimmage. Like it just depends on how Washington uses him. I'm not going to get into the X's and O's. I don't even know what his situation is in Indy. Again, I think he's about to get tagged, and that's the reason why Michael Pittman is out there. In terms of his name, like it may be something this is a nothing burger because they're going to move forward with Alec Pierce and let Michael Pittman move on, or move to free agency. In terms of Aiyuk is like he reminds me of like Jordan Reed in the sense of like he gets busy at the line, he knows how to dance, and like he's a hooper in a sense. Like he reminds me of a person who has good basketball moves, right? Like so you can win with that in that first and second level. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I ain't got to worry about no goddamn character concerns when it comes to Alec Pierce.
That's
I ain't got
it.
to worry about that. So why the hell not? Why would I take the chance on Aiyuk if Pierce brings an element that we lack, but he's also somebody who has no problems. Like he doesn't have an attitude problem, and he doesn't look to do these fucking distracting ass social media posts. And I'm not even going to ban him on the injury is not his fault. Like that's just a bad luck thing. So to hell with that part, bro. Like I'd rather go ahead and take my chance for him, a person who I think they're comparably speaking like this around the same age too. So like I'm taking my let me go ahead and get the white boy in here. Do your thing, bro. A couple 70-yard bombs, man. Pop off for the fans, bro. Hey.
Well, Mual, I mean, when I'm thinking about this whole Brandon Aiyuk thing, and you even mentioned Rachaad White, and that would be familiarity to Jaden Daniels because they were teammates at Arizona State, just like Aiyuk was. But my issue, and I'm a Adam Peters defender to this point because I just feel like, GMs mostly take about a good 3 years before you start to know which way you lean in as far as how they are constructing a roster or how they're putting together a team. So as of now, Adam Peters has one more grace period a year for me, but I would be a little bit worried about, and AJ has mentioned this a couple of times in some of his takes, in that Adam Peters leans more to the familiarity side, which is cool when you're talking about year one and maybe even year two. That, yeah, I'm going to go with guys I knew with these places that I've been at. But if you're in year three and you're still kind of leaning on, I'm still only comfortable giving opportunities or signing certain guys that I know and that I scouted, when I was up with the 49ers, that's an issue for me. So, and Brandon Aiyuk comes with risk. He doesn't come with, this guaranteed reward or this guy that is going to play at this certain level. And I say that because he's coming off a significant injury. And we didn't see him at all last year. Like, we didn't see Brandon Aiyuk play at all last year. And we don't know how he's going to return from injury. And I'm just wondering, can Washington afford to take that risk on a Brandon Aiyuk? I would say this: you don't trade for him. You know what I mean? If you make this move at all, it's gonna be he's a release from San Francisco, and it's kind of a proven, almost like a Deebo Samuel type of contract. Yes, I mean, bro. I don't even take the Debo contract, honestly. Like what Debo played on last year, the 1 year deal where you're not on the hook for a couple of years for him. I'll take that. But at this point in time, can Washington take that risk? Or a guy like Brandon, now you come out yes.
I mean, we gotta sit here and think about it, right? Like with Aiyuk, too much is being made of like character issues. Like the man got paid $39 million in 2 seasons, right?
In the chat doing the same thing. Go ahead.
No, he got paid $39 million, and he's finding a way out of his situation. Them voiding his contract is his way out. That he ultimately didn't want to be there, but he could get the new money. Like that was his first time getting a second paycheck from the NFL. Nobody knows him better than the people that are already in the building. Like, we're not saying Jaden Daniels is one of his homies, like they just cool and passing. This is his best friend. Then Aiyuk and Adam Peters are close as hell. Like, Aiyuk told Peters about Jaden Daniels. You feel me? So it's like it's two of the most close-knit, probably NFL relationships he has. Like, and even outside of the NFL that he's leaning on, which is why he wants to be there. And that's why you had the interview situation with, Nate Tice kind of alluding to Aiyuk, and even Jaden felt comfortable saying that that's his best friend. So it's like, you wouldn't be signing him to no marquee deal. You would be signing him to a prove-it deal with incentives. And I don't know I haven't seen him run. You feel me? I haven't seen him do any drills or whatever, but I think it's worth the risk. If you could bring in a Treylon Burks or whatever, and other teams have brought in wide receivers coming off of injuries, Odell Beckham Jr., for example, coming to the Baltimore Ravens. I think he signed a deal that was like 1 for 14, and maybe up. He could have got up to like 18 million, which was incentive ridden or whatever. Like that. That's one thing. Like we talking about a guy who's not. We didn't even mention the other person who got released yesterday, Tyreek Hill. Not talking about somebody that beat their kids, beat their girl,
I think
or any of that. And I know fans want Tyreek Hill.
is goddamn Antonio Brown, bro. Like
You said
that
what?
Antonio Brown when he got traded to the Raiders, bro.
Nah, bro.
That's
I don't see it the same.
That's almost, bro. The dude wanted out, bro. Antonio Brown never wanted to go to Raiders. He just wanted to get out of Pittsburgh. And you sit here and tell me, people sit here and look at this situation, and you think that GMs or even Adam Peters is gonna just welcome him with open arms and be like, hey man, hey, you did a hell of a job getting out of that contract, bro. I'm so proud of you. I understand where you came from, bro. Like, this was a tough time for you. And I know what you was going through over there when they paid you that $39 million, bro. Like, and I know you're not going to do that for me. I know you're not going to do that to me, bro, when you get upset and you get about things that's not going right for you, bro, in Washington. I know you're not going to do that to me. I know you're just going to do that in San Francisco. I have no fear whatsoever that you're going to turn against me in any shape, form, or fashion. I know you're not going to delete me off your Instagram. I know you're not going to block me. I know you're not going to go ride in your Grand Cherokee, whatever the fuck it was, your fast car, bro, and go getting speeding tickets, all of that stuff. Like, I know you're not going to do that, bro, because it only happened in San Francisco. I know.
Bro, the situation between AB and Raiders and Aiyuk are night and day. I think all AB had to do was show up for one day and get 31 million. Like, I mean, it's two different. It's completely two different individuals, situations, all that. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said,
But
we don't control anything. But I feel like if someone already has told you publicly when they met with the press that they lean heavily on their familiarity, and you got a guy, it's not like he's leaning on. We're not talking about a bum ass player in IU. You know, yeah, he's injured, but I even said it to y'all today in text. Like, today's medicine is completely different than how it used to be. Unless you just a lazy ass motherfucker as an athlete, you're gonna bounce back from your injury. You feel me? Like, more than likely, because you have so many different resources and tools that are being utilized to help you rehab. So it's just like, why wouldn't Adam Peters lean on that relationship and that rapport? And his quarterback got the quarterback, they probably done already threw together. We don't even know. We have no clue. We don't know what video's been sent text wise. He has a better understanding than anybody else could in the NFL ranks of this player because he knows him personally, and the quarterback is his best friend. So he's thrown the ball to him, all these different nuances. I just think that, Maul, you got to get prepared that Aiyuk is going to be a Washington Commander.
I hope it works out for him. I mean, I can't. It ain't nothing I can do about it, but I know how I feel.
Because I know if I was Aiyuk and I got compared to Antonio Brown, bro, I would want to slap the shit out of everybody that even said that.
Hey,
Because
I
like,
wish he
AB's
was.
a whole different human being. Like,
And you damn right he's a different human being. But at the same time, the overarching theme or the premise was that neither one of these niggas wanted to play for the team that they got assigned to. Aiyuk signed a contract. AB wanted out of Pittsburgh. He got what he want. He got what he theoretically wanted in I keep thinking of Vegas, in Oakland at the time, and still didn't want to fucking play for him. So like, he sabotaged that shit. And what do you think happened in San Francisco? He sabotaged that shit. Like, it's still sabotage. No matter if it's varying levels of degree of sabotage, cool. I agree with that. It's still a sabotage.
nah, one is a sabotage, one is being strategic.
Okay.
I mean, that's really what it is. One is a full out, like, I'm what they say, crash out. One is a full crash out, and one is being strategic on how I'm gonna exit out of this team and still collect some money.
And 90% of them niggas in San Francisco, you muted too, Dre, so that's why I'm talking. But 90% of them niggas in San Francisco's front office is saying, fuck that nigga Brandon, bro. I swear I'm saying that, bro.
Here's my counterpoint. Now, I don't necessarily share Maul's concerns of the character, concerns as far as when you talk about an AB. I mean, those are different characters. But Brandon Aiyuk didn't have to sign that extension last year. And I thought it was crazy when they did sign the extension last year. And I'm like, okay, he signed the extension. He's going to go out there. He's going to be the man for the 49ers. And it turns out he signs that extension with the 49ers. And now Juwan Jennings is the man before Brandon Aiyuk gets hurt out there. But again, I go back to the injuries. Like this is my biggest concern with a Brandon Aiyuk when I talk about the injuries. And I only say that because, yes, AJ, we do have modern science and we do have, different techniques in rehabbing, which Brandon Aiyuk strategically, as you call it, missed those rehab sessions with the 49ers last year, which is why the 49ers voided his $27 million in guarantees. But I just worry about, is he the same player? And I'm talking as a jaded Commander fan. A jaded Commander fan that has been sold lemons in the past. We just got sold a lemon and a Marshon Lattimore in a sense. And I just worried if Brandon Aiyuk is a lemon at this point. John Lynch came flat out of his mouth for the 49ers and said, Brandon Aiyuk has played his last snap as a 49er, which means they're most likely either going to release him or they're going to trade him. There's one or the other. He's not playing for the 49ers anymore. And you feel like if they felt like at some point, this is just me, the skepticism, the Commander fan skepticism, if they felt like this guy was still this top tier talent, they wouldn't be so eager to just move on from him because they did just 1 year ago give the guy a contract extension. So that's just my worry when it comes to a Brandon Aiyuk, is more so, what does he look like football-wise? Like, because if you can guarantee me that Brandon Aiyuk can be the same player that he was pre-injury, now I'll take that deal every day of the week because he's a more complete player than anybody in the wide receiver class of free agents that we're talking about. He's a more complete player than the Alec Pierce right now. It's just, for me, I'm so jaded and worried about getting a lemon.
So Dre, who would know that best? His best friend, the quarterback that you're a Jaden Daniels fan of, right?
No,
because
I
the 49ers don't know, because in order for me to crash out in a way or strategically plan my exit, I needed to not be present. And I still get my $39 million. Yeah, I lost out on what is voided, but they don't have a clue on my true rehab. They don't know how I'm running routes. I didn't do anything with them. The only couple people that know, maybe my girl, myself, the trainers who's helping him with his rehab, and close friends, Jaden Daniels. So, like, I mean, it's not like he's posting videos of him working out. Like, he could easily do that, but it would just look even more wild if he posted videos of him working out and then didn't play for the 49ers. In this case, he's a couple weeks away from being a Washington Commander. That's ultimately what he wanted, and he had to sign the contract in order to guarantee himself some money.
Are you worried about the optics though, AJ? And this is optics from both ends. And like, again, if he's Brandon Aiyuk, the Brandon Aiyuk that we've seen him play in the NFL, that's fine. But we don't know that as of right now. But the optics right now are Jaden Daniels is kind of running your team as a GM, and Adam Peters is only going with guys that he's familiar with. And you already don't care much for Adam Peters, AJ. So, I mean, does the optics make Adam Peters look bad in this situation?
No, because it's like
destroys, damage, or obstructs.
You reading a definition? Man, ain't nobody got time for this. Disco ain't on here asking us the words.
Destroy, damage, or destruct something.
I get where you're coming from, but it's just different. It is different. So it's like, I hear what you're saying, Dre, but it's like I also just got to think about, if this guy was Aaron Rodgers and trying to bring in Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, like that's completely different situation. He got those guys paid, especially Alan Lazard. We're talking about Jaden Daniels, like everything they're doing is building around him. I mean, David Blau being hired as the fucking OC, like, come on, bro. Familiarity, once again. That was familiarity that made that hire. That was not from an X and O standpoint, sort of say, like, yeah, it could have played a part in it, but it was familiarity. This person has already been a voice within this organization, already has that rapport with our quarterback. Let's continue to build on that with more players. It even goes back to how Terry McLaurin became #1 here in Washington. Dwayne Haskins, who was drafted 15th overall, he had familiarity with Terry McLaurin at Ohio State, which led to Washington drafting Terry McLaurin in 3rd round.
Bro.
Is 2 different things.
Don't forget what Tom McShay said on our show about Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. But I was talking
we had Tom McShay on here when Terry McLaurin got drafted.
No. He mentioned the draft story.
Yeah, he mentioned a story about Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, what'd he say?
He was fucking cooking. He was cooking. Everybody
at the pro day.
Everyone asked him.
Yeah, he was cooking, but the person that stood on the table for him was Dwayne Haskins. Rest in peace.
Had shit.
Dwayne didn't even have a table to stand on because no one but the owner wanted him here.
Bro.
Honestly, if I want to be real, bro, if I want to be real right now, bro, and we need, we're gonna have to worry about the rest of the players on another episode because we didn't talk too long about this show. But if you want to be real, bro, I ain't, bro. Jaden ain't got no fucking say so in this shit either, bro. Right? His fucking power is limited to however Adam Peters want to involve him. And I'm sure that's not at a big percentage, bro. If it's like the inclusive nature that Jaden has or ability that he has to speak on something, bro, it's limited, bro. It ain't about to fucking dictate how they move in free agency.
You don't think that's? I'm saying from an offensive standpoint, at like wide receiver in particular.
Yes.
He don't have no ground to speak on. Hey, this is who I would like.
I literally just said it's limited. I said the amount of influence that he'll have.
Oh yeah, it should be limited to wide receivers. It should be limited to wide receivers, not Jaden Daniels shouldn't come to me and tell me who I should get at defensive end.
One player. If they ask about Brandon Aiyuk, okay, cool. Outside of that, who the fuck cares what Jaden thinks? If you get a dog in here, bro, you work with him. Bro.
I think
the GM has to be able to put together a team without relying on who his quarterback has played with in the past.
Yeah, and I understand that, but when you have a guy like Jaden in the building, and you also have familiarity with guys that could be available, such as Aiyuk, Brian Thomas Jr., you should lean on your quarterback for his analysis on that. Now, if you're asking Jaden Daniels who should you get at defensive end and linebacker, now, yeah, that's a fucking issue. But if we talking about wide receivers, yes, we should be asking Jaden Daniels who he wants at wide receiver or tight end.
You named 2 theoretical situations, right? You named Brian Thomas Jr. and you named Brandon Aiyuk. I would think that's fair, right? And that's to my point. But to my point, that's literally why I said it's limited, bro. Like if you're talking about 1 or 2 people coming in here, bro, and you got an idea of something like that, right? First off, their relationships is probably already publicly known. So then again, he don't have to go to either. He don't have to go to fucking Jaden. Adam Peters does for either one of those 2. But if he did go to somebody about receivers and it was those 2 in particular, it would be him. Outside of that, who the fuck cares? Like Adam Peters is going to get the best wide that he can. And it's on Jaden to fucking hoop, especially coming off a year that wasn't so like it was injury riddled. You need to focus on getting better. You need to focus on your rehab, whatever rehab looks like. I'm just saying. Focus on your rehab. You need to focus on getting better. You need to work on building that relationship with David Blau, the new offensive coordinator, and whatever he wants in his offense. Like, don't worry about what I'm doing on my side. I'll ask you a question if I need to ask you a question. And I think that's super limited, bro. That's it. Like, I think it's come down to the player, like specific players that you named. I agree with that. But tight ends, receivers, like offensive line, running backs. I was gonna ask us about Kenneth Walker, and we didn't fucking talk 30 minutes about Aiyuk. Fucking Aiyuk, goddamn Jay Tizzy in the chat. Putting this cape on for the past 25 minutes, bro, arguing down about me acting like a white man, bro, because I don't agree with bringing Aiyuk in this joint. I'm sick of this shit, bro. I'm sick of everything.
Hey, Kenneth Walker, a no-brainer.
I'm cool.
We talked about that before.
I will acknowledge that I was actually dead wrong on Kenneth. Like I wasn't.
Yeah.
But when I saw him in that playoff stretch, bro. It started that second game against San Fran. I was like, yo, my bad, brother. It's like my bad. Oh, that nigga.
But you know what the thing about
I think Seattle was wrong about him too. That's why Charbonnet was getting good. He was getting a lot of carries until he got hurt. I think they were just ready to pivot off of him. But I mean, Kenneth Walker came into the league explosive, and then it kind of like died down a little bit. I don't know if it was injuries or what, but you know, I think Kenneth Walker is a baller. Like, but I think that this is also a great time to add a running back if they're available. You got ETN, you got Brees Hall, like you got some other guys that could get cut. Like, I'm not going into the season with one running back under contract, which is Bill. That's the only player. That's the only running back under contract because I think McNichols is a free agent. Rodriguez is. Eckler is. So yeah,
not free agents.
You got the last. I'm about to say in today's NFL, you don't necessarily need a workhorse running back. I mean, I think you can do the running back by committee, especially if you have a quarterback that you know can do it, in which we know Jaden Daniels can go out there and do it. But Kenneth Walker, I watched that guy since he was at Michigan State. Like Michigan State, he was a beast. I'm like, oh man, who's this dude? Like he's a hell of a player. But Seattle, for whatever reason, always went with the dual threat thing with him and Charbonnet. But I mean, for me, I would love to add a running back in this free agency class because I don't want to draft one. I know a lot of fans keep talking about Jeremiah Love, but I just think that'd be a waste of resources when you don't have the luxury of a lot of resources to add to this team. We're not in a position where we're like the Los Angeles Rams or, you know, we're the Eagles where we can just draft any position, any round we want to draft and just plug those guys in and play or just let them develop or whatever. No, Washington needs immediate help right now, which Jeremiah Love would be, but to what extent for a Washington team. That's why I say I would love to add one of those backs for in free agency, a Brees Hall, ETN, or even a Ken Walker. And, you know, even if you add a Ken Walker, you're still talking about what else you're going to have with them. Bill's still going to be a major part of this offense in some kind of way. He may not be your workhorse or, you know, the load carrying back, but he's going to be here. I think C-Rod's going to come back. And I think you're going to have guys that's going to be here to run or at least to add. That's why I say just add something to the running back room. I don't think you need to, use a first-round pick on a running back when this team has so many needs. And again, I'm biased. I want the defensive guy. I want a defensive cornerstone. I want to start building this defense up. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Go after one of those guys in free agency as far as those running backs.
Man, if I was a GM, my philosophy, even if I had a running back, I'd draft one every year.
In the first round every year?
No, not first round. In some part of the draft, I'm going to get a running back. Like, and you look at this class, I like Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. There's a lot of other running backs. It's just what tickles your fancy. You feel me? Like Love, I don't look at Love like a Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. Like that's my personal opinion. But of course, we had Todd McShay. He compared Jeremiah Love to Bijan Robinson. I don't see it that way. I know I champion heavy for Jahmyr Gibbs on here on Trap or Dive. Probably too much. You would have thought that I had something to do with his success. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just think that Washington, like you said, Dre, ultimately, they got to go defense. They got to go defense. Some way, somehow, somebody got to be taken from that. Cornerback, defensive tackle, DN,
AJ, you're not going to like that comment right there. You see that comment, Love is better than Gibbs coming out. I know you're not going to like that.
I mean, whoever they are, they stupid as hell. So, hey, God bless them.
And this is my last thing, but like when you mentioned the running backs, Dre, bro, it's two things I think is a failure heading in the draft for Washington. There's so much talent at both running back and tight end in free agency that if you can't come away with one, knowing that you got one running back on your roster, right, and you need receiving help at tight end, you can't come away with one going into this situation unless you have like your eye on one particular guy or two particular guys in the draft, right? Then you lost. Those are some critical positions offensively that is like a gold mine in free agency. Veterans. So if you can't come away with any of those guys, bro, you lost. Which is why I hope they get likely.
If you can't come away with talent at pick 7, then you lost overall because there's players.
That's true too.
I mean that too, but I was just speaking to the
I get what you're saying. Like there's a plethora of running backs in free agency and the draft. There's a plethora of tight ends in free agency and the draft as well. It's just like, hey man, you got to get something. Take couple picks at the samples that's being given out like you at Costco. Like, don't just grab one. Like, grab a few. You feel me? Because there's players, there's talent in places that you need. So be interesting.
Right. Hey, appreciate everybody who's watching. Again, hit that like button, that subscribe button, all the chat, man. Appreciate all of that, and appreciate y'all patience early on in the show when I was fucking up. I mean, even though it's not my fault, but I got to figure that out, and that is my problem. So, we'll worry about that bridge when we get here. When we get there, interviews, we're working on them. I talked to y'all, but you already mentioned Nate Tyson. We'll try to get him on soon. Hopefully, we can get that done and have a conversation. We've got some other people that I've been talking to. So cross that bridge when we get there. All 32 is on this week. Tomorrow, y'all take it easy, be safe, all the good stuff. We about here, man.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Chop it down, you gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch you throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.